It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, and it's WCCS AM 1160 and FM 101.1. Jessica Clark is over here. That must mean we're talking about the Care Center. Good morning.
Hi, Todd. Thanks for having us.
You have brought someone with you today.
Yes, I did. I brought Katie Haberl Thomas. She is Vice President of the Care Center Board, and we are here today to talk about our fundraiser that we're having next week.
Which is called Care for Kids, correct?
Care for Kids Charity Evening. Yes, yes. And it's a wonderful event. Katie's been working really hard at organizing it, so I'll let her tell you all about it.
Okay, we'll get
Good
that
morning. How are
microphone.
you?
Wonderful. Yourself?
I'm well, thank you. We have a super fun evening planned October 5th, which is a Thursday, 1 week from this Thursday, from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Triple Nickel Park, which is an awesome venue. We're going to have beer and wine and lots of food, live music, and just a great time to raise some funds for the Care Center.
Yeah. Okay, so right away, let's get the information out on how folks can come. Do they need tickets?
Sure, yes. We're selling tickets, and we're selling a limited number because Triple Nickel is a beautiful little private park here in town, so we can only hold so many. We do have tickets available. They are $50 a person, and that does include your wine, your beer, your food, live music, everything we have to offer there for the evening. So you can contact me at my office, or you can contact the Care Center, which is probably a little bit easier to find their information if you don't have a pen handy.
Okay.
I can be reached at 724-463-8791, which is actually the phone number for Holsinger, Clark, and Armstrong, if you want to look that up. Or Jessica Clark at the Care Center can certainly get tickets for you, and our phone number is available online if you just Google Care Center.
Okay, very good. And, of course, this is an event that is much needed to keep this wonderful organization going, Jessica.
Absolutely. We are a nonprofit, Todd, and all of the funds that we get, we have to, we have to fundraise, we have to write grants, we have to, we have a couple of contracts, and basically to keep this place running, it costs us, and we have to fundraise to fill up some of the gaps in our fundraising.
You got to hustle. That means you need a good board.
We do, and Katie has been wonderful. And all I can say is that, this event is really special because we here in Indiana County, we are the only children's advocacy center in the entire county. And when there are allegations of physical or sexual abuse with children in our county, we are the agency that brings those kids in and provides a forensic interview, a medical exam, referrals to services. We work with the state police, the district attorney's office, Indiana County Children and Youth Services, IRMC, Alice Paul House to do all this. And I think the best part of this is that we provide it at no cost to the families that we serve.
Katie, what makes you care so much about the Care Center?
I've been on the board for about 4 years now. I'm losing track. I've always been interested in children's advocacy since high school. It's why I went to law school. One of the reasons that compelled me to do that. But CARE is just a great organization, and I think one of the fun things about this event is it's our second annual, and we hope to do it every year. But as much as it's about raising funds, it's also about raising awareness and raising interest in what we do. As the Care Center, we can do so much to respond to child abuse or to try to prevent it, but without having the community support us and without having community involvement, it's really hard to do prevention. So, yes, we're trying to raise funds, but just as much as we're trying to raise funds, we're trying to get people out that night to come to Triple Nickel Park, to pick up some of our literature, to hear Jess speak about what we do briefly. We won't make you listen to too much information, but just to raise awareness about what we do as the Care Center and to try to kind of ignite the fire in other people to join us in our cause, which is really preventing child abuse. We hope to become more preventative. Right now, we're very responsive because it's necessary. We respond to claims of child abuse, but we hope to grow our program and become more preventative as well in the future.
Boy, that's a big distinction, isn't it? When you go from having to respond to something and react to being proactive so that you can get out there ahead of the problem rather than having to constantly react to something that already has occurred. Makes a great difference in a kid's life.
It does, yeah. So that's what we hope to do, and we hope to get the community behind us.
Jess, what's a way or two that folks can stave off that reactionary aspect of what you do and help to get out in front of a situation?
Well, I think the biggest thing that people can do is report. That is always been a barrier to preventing child abuse. Is most of the time when kids are abused, they're abused by somebody you know, and people are very reluctant to report that. They don't want to report family members. They don't want to report loved ones. They don't want to report neighbors. If they know that kids are being abused, people don't necessarily want to get involved. And I think that it's everybody's responsibility to keep the kids safe, because most of the time these kids are too young and too defenseless to defend themselves. So I think it's up to everybody to take on that responsibility and make sure the kids are safe. And even if it's uncomfortable for you to report it, you need to report it.
And I think, that when you talk about that, when it's a family member especially who is doing the abusing, there's a tendency to say to them, all right, you stop that and acknowledge that you've done it, and think that they have the problem handled because the person has said, okay, I won't do it anymore. But that's not the way to approach it, is it?
No, the best way to approach reporting child abuse is you can actually call an 800 number in the state of Pennsylvania. It's called Childline, and the number is 1-800-932-0313. And you can report child abuse anonymously, and it's probably the best way to protect and help that child, and you don't have to give your name if you don't want to.
It's not a problem you should try to handle yourself.
No, the best thing you can do for that kid is report it.
Yeah.
And then the reports filter down to each local county, and they are required to respond to that report.
Now, Katie comes from a law background. The board itself is made up, I'm sure, of people from various backgrounds. Tell me about the board itself that is operating the care center.
We have a great board. We have an
Overseeing,
accountant.
I guess.
We have 3 attorneys on our board. We have 1 accountant. We have an individual in insurance sales. We have several people who have just been active in the community for a number of years. So I think we have a really good board. There's not a ton required of us because Jessica does an amazing job running the care center. Jessica came on 5 years ago, and we're really in a position right now. When Jessica came on, we weren't in as good of a position then as we are today. So now we're really looking to kind of expand our reach and get more proactive, a lot in part because of the position Jessica has put us in. But our board is fairly diverse, a lot of business people in the community, so we have kind of all of our bases covered, which is great. But it's been a pleasure to be on the board, and it's been a great cause to be a part of.
Yeah. Jessica, getting that solid footing that Katie was talking about has to have been a real turning point for the organization and for the way that it can work with the court system and with all of the different law enforcement entities. Because that can be a pretty tenuous relationship if you're not firmly established.
Absolutely. I mean, the saying that it takes a village is absolutely correct. We work very closely with law enforcement and Indiana County Children and Youth Services, and we have to, because this is a collaboration to respond to these kids. And a lot of times people think, this isn't really happening, it doesn't really affect me, but I can tell you there are kids in Indiana County that we see that are getting abused. And we are here to provide those services. They come in, they get to sit down with a forensic interviewer, they get somebody to hear their story. And sometimes that's exactly what they need. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen and believe them. And that's sort of the starting point. And then we work very closely with law enforcement and CYS to make sure that those kids are safe, they're not in harm's way, and hopefully we get what we need to prosecute the perpetrator.
October is going to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Of course, child abuse would certainly fall under that umbrella, and we want to call attention to it. And as well, we want to be sure that we're able to fund organizations such as yours. Katie, give the information again about the event.
Sure. We have, like I said, a super fun evening planned for October 5th, which is a Thursday evening. It is 1 week from this Thursday. So I think a lot of people have been holding off on purchasing their tickets, but the time is now. It is from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Triple Nickel Park, which is here in town. It's a beautiful little private park. We will have lots of food. We will have wine. We will have local beer from Levity and Noblestein. And it's a $50 ticket. You can contact the Care Center for that ticket, or you can contact me at 724-463-8791, or you can stop by my office, which is located at 832 Philadelphia Street. We have lots of tickets there. So I would just urge everybody to grab a ticket. The other great thing about this fundraiser is we are taking donations. We are taking silent auction donations, so monetary donations, items that would be of interest for an auction. There's a lot of different ways to contribute, even if you're not free on October 5th. If you want to get a hold of myself or Jessica at the Care Center, we can certainly give you some ideas about how to contribute.
Move fast to make that happen so that this gets even bigger and bigger. Ladies, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you so
it.
much for having us.
We're glad that you were able to come in and visit with us here this morning. The event is coming up next Thursday, so make that call today, folks. It's Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, and it's WCCS, AM 1160 and FM 101.1.